It is December. It's really cold around here, and I gotta kind of. I might have to break out a different set of the wardrobe. Tonight is the annual Christmas tree lighting here in Los Gatos, and again, it's been a 30-year engagement for me. And sometimes I show up and just play for 5 minutes. Back, and it depends on who else is there. Sometimes they've got, the local middle school band and some carolers and some juggling acts and a fire eater, and you just never know who's going to show up there, all expecting stage time, where what they really want to do at 6 o'clock is get Santa there, light this monster tree that's in the town plaza. And so anyway, sometimes I end up doing almost nothing, but I'm sort of just on call in case our ex-mayor John Lochner needs to sing Frosty the Snowman or always decide at the last second what key to put it in, because he's well into his 80s now and his range is changing a little bit. So anyway, that's my late afternoon or early evening plans for tonight. I do have a few things to talk about. I want to talk about, wasn't here last week because it was like Thanksgiving. Well, it wasn't like it was Thanksgiving. Why do we throw like and into so many things, like, I don't know. Wait, okay, don't go there. What I played at the beginning, I will talk more about that a little bit later, because it actually has to do with Thanksgiving. See if you can figure it out. And what we were listening to around here, and it wasn't this. Always a fun one at Thanksgiving. Oh boy. Broken Nail. I may not be playing too much more in this. Just remind me not to use my third finger. Now, can you hear that? It should sound like this. Listen what it sounds like with a chipped nail. Dang it. That just happened right then. In the middle of... Okay, well, I usually play too much in these things anyway. Let's see. I have a few things I want to tell you about. Then I got a few things I want to show you. It's like show and tell day today with some things that have been really kind of fun. We're going to talk about a book that I alluded to or mentioned about a month ago, and I did finish it. Pierre, you'll be glad to know, got back through the... anyway, we'll come back to that. I have a few things I want to tell you about, things that happened first during the week, in case I forget, because otherwise the brass will get mad at me. And they say, hey, don't forget to talk about like our new DVDs. We have had a lot of new DVDs come out. Finally got Jim Bruno's beginning vocal course on a DVD. So there's info here in the forum post about that, and I think we had a post about it as well. And I put together a 3 DVD set, again, all of which is available in the Target program. But if you'd like to have a set of acoustic Christmas songs, I think there are 5 on the level, volume 1, 4 each on volumes 2 and 3, and a couple of streaming things. So anybody who's not a Target member that would, or even if you are and you'd like to have lessons on the DVDs, we got the Christmas set has come out. Oh, speaking of Christmas, did get a new Christmas tune-up. Wait, I have something else I got to tell you about. First, weekend sale while I'm on DVDs. Been told that everything has been slashed. It's the post-Black Friday stuff. So if you want to check out the DVDs, they're all on sale through Sunday, I guess, till Monday. And a few new packs came out too, because I know some people like their packs of stuff. We finally finished a couple that have had lessons up here for a long time. Joni Mitchell and Leonard Cohen. We'd started this pack on it a long time ago, and lost steam for some reason. And then, unfortunately, with him passing away recently, I thought, oh, what happened to that Leonard Cohen pack? Well, 5-pack of Leonard Cohen songs is available now too. So more information on that can all be found further down the page. We did have a few new lessons this week too. Couple from Vanessa, just partly because we didn't get one up on Friday. That was, of course, the Simple Minds tune, Don't You Forget About Me. And today broke into the world of the Bee Gees. So pretty cool. Various unusual ways to play an A minor chord in an open D tuning. Hopefully you got all that. Kind of fun. What else? We had a follow-up with Sandy's. didn't go anywhere like that, but I got tired of playing that one and decided it was time to run through a Who Can Tell Me What That Was? I was here, I was on this chord, and I jumped into this one. And finally landed here. Kind of like what, boy, this happened in, where did that start though in there? Oh. So a very similar little composing technique that Steve Howe used in that. So there's one of today's little musical puzzles. What else do I have to talk about? Jay, this was a great idea last week. Put up a new Christmas song, because I think last year I totally didn't do it. And your recommendation or your suggestion or request for Emmanuel was great, because it's a cool melody, and I decided to do this lesson quite a bit differently. Hope nobody got too frazzled with it. Make it a little bit of an incremental do-it-yourself, build it yourself kind of lesson, and just talking about putting the melody and the bass notes together. For those of you that have my Christmas album, it of course is in a medley with. It has this cool little intro that I used for a lesson that went up maybe last year or maybe the year before. And so that intro to I Wonder As I Wander would work just as well for O Come O Come Emmanuel. But what happens in what I did in my recording of it was put it into a medley with actually went into a different song first. I think we followed it with medley with that. But second hint as to what else I want to talk about. Wait, I think I got through everything important. Okay, so you guys get the other Thanksgiving hint as to what was possibly going on here at TG Central in the Hogan household. One was I was finishing up this cool book that one of my students gave me, Clapton's Guitar, and I had sort of tuned out about a third of the way through, but I also have to confess that that's how I read books. I get about 20% through them and lose interest. So it wasn't really a personal slam on the book, because it was just I was just running out of gas for it. I have a whole library of books that I've read 50 pages of. Some only 10 pages. Anyhow, but there was some really cool stuff in here, especially like the stories about Mike Longworth and the Martins and what else? Anyway, a lot of great little sidelines that show up in there. The other thing was I want to thank, and here comes the big giveaway as to what it was, or the last hint as to what it was that was going on. Bart sent me a book a couple weeks ago, and it's the same thing. I open it up and say, oh, really cool, didn't even know it existed. Do I take time to read it and not put up some new lessons at TG and sit there as a bookworm? Well, it was this. Can you see that? Do I have to get it closer? Testimony, Robbie Robertson. I almost couldn't put it down. Had to get through it all, 75,000 pages. No, about 500 probably, or something like that. Telling the story of the band, and it made me kind of go back and dig up actually ended up buying a CD set of theirs called A Musical History that goes through all kinds of stuff, and then had to revisit. I only had this on DVD, but there was subsequently a 40th anniversary edition. Let's see if I can get that glare off there for you. There we go. 40th anniversary edition of something that happened in 1976, and I remember it well. I remember not going to it because I'm not sure what I was doing that night. But it was Thanksgiving. The band was doing their last show at Winterland here in San Francisco, place I'd been many times. Saw a lot of Neil Young shows, saw Yes, Poco, Focus, all those bands there. And there is now this 40th anniversary edition that includes a lot of stuff, the whole 5-hour concert. Well, not quite. They didn't put the poetry readings in it, but there's still a lot of really cool stuff in there. And the movie out on Blu-ray now. Haven't popped the movie back in yet, but definitely had this playing nonstop over Thanksgiving. For those of you that don't know too much about it, although it was such a popular movie, I'm sure that most of you do. But Bill Graham and Martin Scorsese, well, Graham did most of the big production, but they made Thanksgiving dinners for like 5,000 people and fed them all at 5 o'clock that afternoon. At 9 o'clock, the band took the stage, and almost everybody that had been important in their lives, and some really by far satellite connections, Neil Diamond, for example, got up and played a few things, and it was pretty cool. So if you haven't seen the movie or listened to a lot of the stuff or followed much about the band, I would suggest at least reading up on it a little bit. And Robbie Robertson's book is really fascinating about him pretty much getting plucked out of the streets of Toronto. Not so much the streets, but as a 15-year-old and 16-year-old trying to audition for Ronnie Hawkins and the band that included Levon Helm, and later on the rest of the members that became the band. Anyway, okay, that's enough of what has been going on with me, aside from static electricity and a few other things that are happening because it's cold around here. I guess I got to go dig up my Christmas charts and be ready for stuff here in Los Gatos tonight. A new thing has kind of happened too. Now it's kind of fun to hang out there across the tree because my daughter Rebecca works Ten's Bar right across the street on Friday nights. She's down to tending bar just twice a week, Friday and Sunday night, and working like 3 other jobs, coaching volleyball. Well, okay, enough personal stuff about the kids. But yeah, I better send out. No, I'll save that for later too. I think that is it for today. Talked about all the stuff that was on the list. Let me double check the list. I didn't talk too much about the Bee Gees songs, but those were fascinating. I want to thank Vanessa for New York mining disaster and the morning tune, that Morning of My Life, that these guys made me go back and watch some of their early videos too. And they're interesting, of course, that Barry played probably everything. I don't know that for sure, but in an open D tuning. And if you look at some of the videos, in an open D tuning, it's really easy to play other major chords. So a song could be in the key of G, and you just put a bar across the 5th fret. You can get to the 10th fret for a C chord and stuff like that. Okay, beyond the scope of what we should have been doing here. What else have I been playing? I've been playing some really fun songs. I hope to have a couple of acoustic snapshots rolling out. I've been trying to practice, but now with this next nail malfunction, we'll see. But it looks salvageable. Just gotta shorten it a little bit and get rid of the rough edge. Okay, I have been here for too long, and I will be back next week if all goes well.